The Junior All Blacks haka led by Stanley Solomon, who played 2 matches in last year's Rugby Championship under 20, both of those on the wing, but he wears number 15 this afternoon with Maloney Kunawawe and Harlan Saunoa on the wings. And speaking to Chris Whitaker, hopes the Junior Wallabies coach ahead of this game, just the one match that they've had against an under-23 side from Japan by way of preparation. Facing that haka, they will know that things just got real for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is always incredible seeing haka, and it always almost like it sets the tone to the game, you know. They are showing you what they are, what they can do, what they're going to do, and you need to respond to that. The only way you're going to respond to that is how you play, and which is what we need to see right now.
I guess it takes a lot out of the opposition as well, just having to stare it down. There was an extended haka from the Junior All Blacks, and just taking their own time now, the Australian players, tracksuits off, ready to go. And important for them to start well. They won't have faced anything like this kind of intensity during the course of their preparations. I know the South African team spent some time in Georgia playing some strong matches where they were tested up front by the Georgians, and Kevin Foote, the South African coach, was saying how much they've benefited from traveling together as a squad. Both these teams have spent the last 4 or 5 days acclimatizing in South Africa. Big time difference and jet lag for them to get over. But very much ready to go right now. Christopher Allison of South Africa is the referee.
Yeah.
And we are underway with the first match of the 2025 Under-20 Rugby Championship. Away by Dylan Pledger. And Simpson straight out of the back for Stanley Solomon. Quickly into his stride. Needs a man to run to his inside. Harlan Saunoa. Quick ruck ball for the Junior All Blacks. And already up to Australia's 10-metre line. Early intent. Beautiful ball out of the back as well. Running onto the passes. Wiseman was in there. The man to the outside. Kunawawe just overrunning the pass. It went slightly behind him. But there was a deflection off an Australian player. So no respite yet. It will be a New Zealand throw. 5-man line out called by Letiu.
Get in.
New Zealand's captain. Robson Faliafa
1, 2,
at the
3.
front.
Yeah, thank you.
Huge man. New Zealand's tight head is actually going to be a 6-man. And to the middle they go, straight down for Pledger. Kunawawe was the first receiver. Still they go to the left. It went through the hands of Io Keith. And then Treacy with a carry. More big men calling for it. Sika Pole. Loose head prop for New Zealand. Tengblad popped it on. Still they come. Roberts. Attempted strip from Australia. Not quite working out for them. Mosese Baison.
Hands off! Vonage.
And Christopher Allison has his arm out for a penalty advantage as Treacy makes the carry. There's no advantage there. And first penalty going the way of New Zealand.
Yes, sir. But what a start from New Zealand, though. An incredible start. Literally from kickoff, they decided they're going to run the ball and they're going to play. They've had the bulk of the ball in the past 2.5 minutes. And now it's all about a pressure game. They're playing in Australia's 22 and they want to stay there.
First penalty right in front of the posts and kick to touch. That shows as much intent as anything. Just a hand in the tackle there. An important hand in the tackle. Liam Grover, I believe it was, who just wrapped his arm, deflecting the ball into touch. Letiu. Another excellent leap from Josh Tengblad of Otago. Here comes the captain, Letiu. Lets go of the ball. Wonderful appreciation there. Back to his feet. to play and carry on with the pressure. TRC. Ball held up. I thought it was Harlan Saunoa. I was just wondering what he was doing there at the ruck off his left wing. And just held up as he tried to wriggle his way over the line. Goal line drop out the call. Joey Fowler trying to relieve some territorial pressure. Plenty of men back here. Mosese Basin. Big number 8 carrying for New Zealand. Then the captain again. Letio gets himself around the park a lot. Just trying to punch the half gaps in this Australian defence before taking the ball wide. Wiseman. Pledger had a little look to the short side. The rhythm, the passing, so far very slick from New Zealand.
Very good passing. They know exactly what they're doing. They're earning their right to go wide. And that's why they're playing inside the 15s. Especially with their forwards.
Stanley Solomon up from fullback. But now they'll build again. That speed of that last ruck ball, not quite what they were looking for. And allowing the Wallaby defence to spread. Quick to tap and go is Dylan Pledger. And he's got a man to his outside. It is Harlan Saunoa. And the first try of the Under-20 Rugby Championship is scored. Harlan Saunoa of Auckland. Most of the build-up work being done by Dylan Pledger. Quick tap from the penalty and releasing Saunoa over to his left. Only one defender to beat between the two of them.
Dylan Pledger, I love his ability to take a quick tap and then from there on run and identify as much space as he can. He knew that the Australian defence was not 10 meters back, and eventually getting the pass out to Harlan Saunoa to finish it off. But what a try, New Zealand, what a start. They literally had the upper hand now, and eventually they drew first blood.
Cooper Waters there on the right wing, left with such a difficult decision to make, eventually crabbing in and creating that space on the outside. Rico Simpson almost from the left touchline and just passing across the face of the uprights.
Yeah, what a try. Look at that. A quick tap by Dylan Pledger, putting Australia under pressure, and then eventually there was an overlap, and there's nothing you can do in regards to that. Cooper Waters had to bite in on that one.
Restart gathered by Maloni Kunawawe. Really looking forward to seeing plenty of him during this Rugby Championship Under-20s. The Fijian-born Sevens player. Spent some time with the Crusaders development squad as well, which he says has helped him grow his game significantly. 5-man line out called by Australia. Their first opportunity to run at New Zealand's defence, and there was a hand in there. There's the hand out for advantage. This is Eli Lange. Awkward bouncing ball for Huey Sharples, dealt with it brilliantly and over the top. This could be the perfect response from Australia. Sharples waits. Finds Joe Mangelsdorf. Morrison waits for the carry, but pops it out the back. Some slick handling now from Australia. Good defensive read from Kunawawe.
Hands off! Advantage.
Now New Zealand not releasing in the tackle. Penalty Australia straight out in front, but they're almost going to be forced to kick for touch. We're not going to see many shots at goal from penalties.
No, absolutely not, Matthew. But this is what's exciting about it. Look at how Australia's playing also. They also want to respond. But however, hands in the ruck was the referee's call, was a good call, and hence the penalty.
He gave them time, gave them warning. Set piece just letting them down for a second there. Boston Fakofanua, he was in South Africa for the Junior World Championship last year, made a big impression, playing in the number 12 for Australia this afternoon. Caleb Arcolt. Now the captain, Eamon Doyle. Good build up this from Australia, and as I said, the ball out the back goes too far out the back, but they might rescue it still. The stretch, the score. Brilliant work from Liam Grover. Rico Simpson stays down injured, making a despairing tackle. Fabulous response from Chris Whittaker's men, having conceded the early try. There were a few little slip-ups in handling in the build-up, but boy, did they recover well.
Yeah, they absolutely did recover well. Attack not as crisp as they wanted it to be, however, but the recovery was very good. Look at Grover identifying space, working very hard to go and dot the line, the ball over the line. Very good work from him. But I just love how they, even after the mistakes, they are able to recover, and then from there try and score points from that.
A few little mistakes in the build-up, including the line-out, which didn't go according to plan, but they were able to adapt well. The conversion is just wide.
Look at that replay. It was a good ball carry from the captain. And from there, not the greatest passes of all, not the greatest collections of all, but however, Grover decided to go by himself and making it work. That was really incredible stuff from him.
So a try apiece. Harlan Saunoa for New Zealand, Liam Grover for Australia. Two tricky conversion attempts. Unsuccessful from Rico Simpson and then Sid Harvey. Sharples for Caleb Arcolt. He is going to be a strong ball carrier throughout this tournament, setting the tone early. Australia's tight head.
Stop now, Black.
And Stanley Solomon. All on the bounce of the ball. Enough time for Shane Wilcox
Get out.
to run out of his in-goal area. Not sure that was the intent of his kick. He's set up a counter-attack opportunity here for New Zealand. Pleasure for his captain, Letiu. Knee on the ground, quickly presenting the ball. Little grubber through from Rico Simpson. It's an awkward one for Australia. Big handoff from Jack Wiseman, and staying strong in the tackle of Joey Fowler. But a quick ruck ball nevertheless. Cooper Roberts. Then the pick and drive from Tengblad, and a second try for New Zealand. Well, they're going at a cracking pace here. Real intent with ball in hand. The ruck speed has been excellent from New Zealand so far, Opa.
It really has. It really has. They've been getting some really good quick ball. But however, Matt, I want to go back to the kick that was supposed to be out from Australia. They didn't gather that. Look at this kick through that went through, not collected, or potential knock on there.
It does look as though it's off the forearm. Ben Krause of South Africa is the referee.
Yeah, I'm going to show you a knock on from New Zealand hand, New Zealand arm.
Very unfortunate. It was I believe it was Joey Fowler, the Australian fly half, who went to gather the ball, came off his leg and just rebounded off the forearm of a New Zealand player. Spotted by the TMO. Christopher Allison will have a look at the big screen in the corner. He stoops to pick it up off his leg and then off that forearm.
Yeah, Joey Fowler looked like he missed that ball.
Missed it with his arm, but it came off his foot.
Yes.
We'll have to get back to you. That wasn't clear and obvious, but let me confirm first.
I'm happy with the knock on my black. Just confirm that for me, please.
It's off the boot there. There's a Jack Wiseman who has an arm outstretched.
So, Christopher, we don't have compelling evidence to show that Orange knocked it first.
Okay, but we had an on-field decision. The AR on the far side had an on-field decision. I was playing advantage. So if we don't have any compelling evidence, we should stick with that first knock on by goal.
Yes, you can stick with the on-field then, yeah.
Scrum then. There's 2 knock-ons. We'll have a scrum black ball on the place of a first infringement.
Agree.
Now try first knock gold, then black.
Okay, so Christopher Allison was saying he was happy there was a knock-on
Scrum.
from
First
Joey
knock
Fowler,
by them, then by you. So it'll be black
which Ben
ball.
Krause said he couldn't necessarily see, but Christopher Allison saying I was playing advantage for a knock-on by Australia, but there was, as the footage revealed, a knock-on off the arm of Jack Wiseman. So try is chalked off. But for the first knock-on, it'll be a scrum to New Zealand. First scrum of the game.
First scrum of the game, yep. Another way for forwards to now assert their dominance and see who's gonna go forward. The set piece dominance is very, very important in these games.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Straight down on this near side. Finn Baxter of the Brumbies against Robson Faleafa.
Need you to control your weight. I need you to control your deload. There you go. So it both comes down to stability, please.
Referees generally are losing patience with resets, but at any level of the game, first scrum has to be a bit of leeway. Faleafa is a unit on this near side for New Zealand. A very tall man.
Bind! Sit!
Danger of him overextending against the shorter Baxter. Good stable scrum that time. The second shove comes and penalty advantage being shown.
Thanks.
Well, there's a call that's come from the assistant referee on the far side.
Yep.
Hands in scrum.
Thomas Bertarza of Argentina. As Christopher Allison had shown penalty advantage for New Zealand, but there was a call of hands in on the far side of the scrum.
Yeah, very good ID there. Hands are definitely not allowed in the scrums. You need to hook the ball with your foot. I don't know if we're going to see it.
Middle.
But what initially looks like a stable scrum from both the teams.
Well, Huey Sharples, in true scrum half style, was really letting the assistant referee know what he was seeing there on the far side of that scrum. This is a good surge from Australia. Eamon Doyle, their captain,
Tackle!
carrying strongly so far. Little pop inside, just keeping the defence honest, close to the previous ruck. Away by Sharples. And out the back from Fowler. Whakafanua with a beautiful offload for Liam Grover. Yet another carry from Captain Doyle. And then a strong angle run by Lange. Crucial couple of metres over the gain line. Doyle again. Third carry in these 7 phases of play. Big contact in the midfield on Boston Whakafanua. It is slow ball though for Huey Sharples. Away for Wilcox. Little kick in behind. Easily read by Pledger.
Yeah, that was easily read. The option there would have been to keep the ball a bit more, take it to the edges, and then only try to outwork your opponents. especially if you're there. It's very important that you retain the ball as much as you can. You can only kick it if you're guaranteed to score a try. Then you can kick it into space.
Simpson's goal line dropout, well, just brings an unforced error. He'll be disappointed, Shane Wilcox. Plenty of players back with him.
Yeah, he'll definitely be disappointed with himself. He had a lot of time there. And usually from a fullback, you don't really expect that.
Much better, boys.
It's almost like he took his eyes off the ball. Already was thinking about where to go and the space that he wants to get. And he forgot to catch the ball.
He had so much space available. That's what excited him. Clearly, the players back in support as well. Goal line dropout's been an interesting introduction to the game. Some teams still figuring out how best to counter-attack off it, how deep to kick it if you are the team kicking.
Sit. Keep it up.
Excellent scrum from Australia on a New Zealand feed. The little kick over the top from Wiseman. Awkward ball for Australia. No advantage back for a scrum Australia's way. Their first feed to the scrum after the knock-on.
Scrum. Yeah. You got me?
There's a knock-on.
Thomas, can you hear
Rico
me?
Simpson. Wanted to gather that, but just unlucky. But now I must say, man, Australia's at the upper end of the scrum so far.
Time off.
Now this is their first feed on an attacking scrum.
Crystal,
Looking forward
we
to see
also run on
how they're
20.
going to attack
I think
from here.
scrum's sorted out now, it's much better. So just get that stability, the rest is all good for now. Thomas, just a check again. Can you hear me now? Thomas, can you hear me? TMO 1, 2, 3.
Looks like the left knee of Caleb Arcolt. It's giving him some trouble.
Jason?
They will want him fit for the duration of this championship. Made a number of strong carries already. Crowd enjoying the sunshine on holiday Thursday here in South Africa. Plenty of local All Black fans and also some travelling fans as well. Temperatures still pretty mild out here in South Africa, deep into autumn. Good to see some travelling support, as we saw for the inaugural Under-20 Rugby Championship last year, played on the Gold Coast. They had some trying conditions there. Plenty of rain fell during the inaugural championship. Remember the draw between New Zealand and South Africa being played in very wet and slippery conditions.
Sit. Use it 9.
Rock solid again from Australia, giving them a bit of a platform. Going away towards their right wing. Sharples, Fowler's ball across the face, almost
No.
intercepted by Josh Tengblad. Wonderful defensive read from Cooper Roberts. He was so quickly out of the line to make that spot tackle on Whakafanua. Australia must build again, but from
Stand.
behind where the initial set piece took place. So the kick from Fowler is to test Simpson. Gets his pass away. Beautifully done. Solomon led New Zealand's haka with so much passion.
Release that klar. No.
to set another target after not getting the speed of ball that they really wanted. Xavier TRC.
Use it 9.
Pledges hoist, and brilliantly into the air goes Maloney Kunawabe. And quickly back on his feet as well to make the clean at the next ruck. Outstanding. And has created this platform. Roberts maybe would have been served with that ball going wide, isolated in contact.
Yeah. Wow. Maloney Kunawabe, what an incredible take. And then also having the ability to get up and then have that clean. But then what New Zealand needs to make sure is that whenever they get quick ball and they get tackled, they need to get cleaners on the ball as quick as possible, or else their balls are going to keep getting stolen. They've done well so far. This was just an unlucky slip up from them. Look at they have it. How the number 8, Beau Morrison.
Yeah, Beau Morrison.
Yeah, getting in on the ball, very strong legs, which is exactly what you want from your loose forward.
Well, he was almost tackle assist, wasn't he? He went in there, helped haul the New Zealand player to ground, and then released and got over the ball. Good line out take from Doyle. Veyru with a carry. Then Joe Mangelsdorf. Switch in direction from Australia. Up from fullback is Shane Wilcox. Important that he followed up with a clean. Another carry from Eamon Doyle. Much better rhythm from Australia. Eli Lange. Passes certainly are sticking now. Fowler. Not scared to take it to the line. We've seen a couple of balls out of the back from Joey Fowler, but also showing that he's not afraid to take on New Zealand's defence. And, well, after 8 phases, little knock-on in contact. But this has been an excellent response from Australia after conceding a very early try and not having hands on the ball for the first 3 or 4 minutes.
No, absolutely. They really do run direct. But must give credit to the All Blacks defence, though. Very rock solid, allowing Australia not to go too far. And then eventually, Australia conceding a knock-on, which is essentially what you want from defence. You defend to get the ball back. And how you're going to do that is by allowing your team to make mistakes.
This is not looking good at all for Caleb Arcolt. He's already seen him down, getting attention to that left knee. He looks to be in a lot of discomfort. Waratah's teammate Nick Hill is the replacement tight head. This was the try from New Zealand. Quick tap penalty taken by Dylan Pledger. Drew the man, coaxed him off his wing for Harlan Saunua to go in, and this was a brilliant piece of individualism from Liam Grover. Ball not sticking initially, knocked backwards by Beau Morrison, and he had plenty to do to make that finish. And that gives us the scoreline so far. 1 try apiece, both conversions from out wide. Scraping past the face of the uprights. So just to look at how it finished last year, we mentioned the draw between New Zealand and South Africa. Australia defeated South Africa 24 points to 19 in round 2. But they had lost 25 points to 6 against Argentina in their opening match. New Zealand unbeaten with 2 wins and a draw. So they secured the inaugural Under-20 TRC trophy ahead of South Africa.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Well, almost through the 90 degrees. New Zealand able to rescue that scrum in the nick of time. Shane Wilcox taking on 2 defenders.
Counter-ruck's good.
And the counter-ruck from
Ball was
Kunawave
picked up, ball was out.
almost doing its job, but the ball had come out, regathered on the ground by Australia. And Eamon Doyle is tireless on the carry, Australia's captain. Moving it wide now for Grover, and then for Cooper Waters. And it's New Zealand getting to the breakdown in superior numbers, winning the penalty.
Counter-ruck was good, and he played the ball on the ground.
Just in that one phase of play, 2 excellent pieces of counter-ruck from New Zealand. First of all by Maloni Kunawave, and then by Randall Baker, wearing number 4. Look at that. Jack Wiseman and Randall Baker combining over the ball.
Very intentional about their counter-rucks. They know where they want to get the ball. They want to take the ball from there because they know that that's where they're usually vulnerable. And hence why the 2 counter-rucks in more or less similar places on the opposite side of the field.
That's poached by Australia's captain on a New Zealand throw. Really doing well to keep that ball in play as well. Smart option down the field off the left boot. Clearance kick is an excellent one. Solomon clearing to back inside Australia's half.
That is a very good clearance kick. Keeping rugby as simple as possible. Letting go of all the pressure that you're in and try to play the territorial battle, which is very, very good.
There's so much intent with ball in hand from both sides in opening 25 minutes of this game. Almost at times feels like they've forgotten about the usefulness of a tactical kick. Opportunity to vary play.
All good.
It was excellent work initially from Whakafanua, and then from Caleb Arcolt has created this space wide. Shane Wilcox, the counter-ruck from New Zealand, but this time the entry was problematic. In from the side, conceding the penalty. Very tight to the touchline though.
Yeah, the infringement was very clear. They coming in from the side. But that just shows you the intention that New Zealand have. They want to get the ball back as quickly as possible. They want to put their wings under pressure. Look at this tackle. Very good tackle. Got him on the floor. And then from there on, counter-rucking, working their way out, but just illegally. If you want to counter-ruck, you need to get in through the gate. Yeah, try to get the ball back.
Yeah, Cooper Roberts, the man conceding the penalty this time. It's Doyle off his own throw. Whakafanua got away from 2 tacklers, really strong in contact. Boston Whakafanua. New Zealand cleaning past the ball. He's lucky there. Mosese Basin
Everyone coming in.
looked pretty cynical.
Yeah. And you said, Matthew, cleaning past the ball. If you want to steal the ball, you need to grab your hands on the ball and then pull it back. And also the tacklers need to roll away to allow the team to get the ball that they want.
Doyle is the target. Little variation, but well read by New Zealand and not overcommitting at that ruck at all. Another telling carry from the captain. That's a metre short for Australia. Sharples away. And it goes out wide for Sid Harvey. Brilliant build-up from Australia. Patience on the ball. Some excellent line-out work. And if you think back to where this really originated, it was a New Zealand throw-in close to halfway, poached by Eamon Doyle, Australia's captain, that got them the field position.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But what I also loved about Australia in this passage of play is the fact that they were able to pick and go, and then eventually got down. But the pick and goes earned them enough meters for them to go wide. So when they talk about the term earn the right to go wide, this is exactly what they're talking about. Keeping rugby very simple inside your own, inside the opponent's 22 will get you out with points.
Sid Harvey, who is part of Australia's sevens program, done all the kicking out of hand from the penalties, both sides of the field, and this to convert his own try. It is perfect.
Made that look easy. Look at that pick and go. Very intentional, good leg drive, not dotting it down, placing it backwards. And then from there, just identifying space. Well done from Joey Fowler to identify Sid Harvey.
Yeah, a little double pump there from Fowler as well, just keeping the defence guessing. Wonderful carries in the build-up from Eamon Doyle and also from Eli Lange, who made that carry close to the post. Did well to work that ball back and not get caught up against the padding, possibly held up. All of a sudden, discipline.
There's no clear release.
Letting New Zealand down. It's costing them field position.
Discipline coming into play, but that happens when the players start getting tired, when the players start falling back, like Australia now is in the lead. Now they're desperate to get back and earn advantages. That was a great carry from Eamon Doyle. But however, hands in the ruck, not releasing.
Randall Baker, the man penalised by Christopher Allison. Australia throw, but one back on New Zealand's side. Wiseman for Roberts, and then Solomon up from fullback. Saunua.
It's fine.
He has to penalise that eventually. There was intention from the Australian player to get out of there, but he got into the passing area of Dylan Pledger. On the half-hour mark, if you'd said after 5 minutes that this would be the scoreline, not sure many would have believed you. It looked as though it was all going to be New Zealand, but Australia have done so well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuck to their plan as well. Haven't been intimidated. Throw not straight from the captain. Manamaua
Option, scrum or line out.
Letiu.
Scrum call. Not straight. Not straight with the contest.
Yeah, they're opting for the scrum. But the lineup was skewed, but also because there was also context from Australia as well. If there was no contest, then the referee would have probably let it play. So now that just shows you the importance of getting up in the air. The coaches always say get up in the air, and now it comes into play where you have to go up for a skew ball to be called.
Joe Mangelsdorf it was who contested for Australia.
Crouch!
Well towards the outside arm.
Bind! Sit!
Sharples for Fowler. They're running from deep. Beautiful inside ball, and then Wilcox to the outside. Some evasive action from the referee.
Hands up now!
Io Keith for New Zealand, tidying up. That
And
went
off the foot.
backwards
Tackle release!
off a New Zealand boot. A little untidy from both sides.
Tackle!
Faleafa. And the captain,
So own player.
Letiu, almost making a hash of that at the ruck. Randall Baker trying to re-establish some momentum. Sika Pole working hard over the ball. Then the kick from Pledger. Mark called. Clever just retreating back into his 22-meter area.
Okay. Look at this play from Australia. Running the ball from deep, knowing where to identify space, but look at how slick their hands were. Australian players were all over the place, but unfortunately the last pass is what set them back.
Six-man line out used again by New Zealand.
backwards.
Regularly used. And attempted interception, not going to hand. Lovely show of the ball from Solomon, and hands through the tackle as well. And what an offload from Saunua. And this is Cooper Roberts. And Solomon finishes a worldie.
Wow.
Spilled ball in the midfield. And how quickly they clicked into gear on the counter.
Wow. Stanley Solomon, what a great try. What a great try from New Zealand. But what I love the most about this is that they always kept the ball alive. Always identified the player next to offload to. And the best part about that is that they were offloading in contact, allowing themselves to go. Here's from that line out.
The ball just spilled in the midfield on the attempted interception.
And also what that didn't allow Australian players to fold. But look at that. Fending off. And then the last pass going in. What a try. It was a very, very good try.
It's a magnificent finish as well. Cover defense coming across at pace. And the conversion attempt going across the face of the uprights again, but 2 tries apiece, just 1 conversion at the moment. The difference between the sides. The offloading outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely outstanding. Look at that fend, bumping him off, then making the last pass. And then Solomon with a cheeky dive in the corner.
Mosese Basin with the carry off the restart. Jack Wiseman doing well to find his 8th man. Kick not finding touch though. Wilcox. Huey Sharples has been a live wire at the base of the rucks. Very slick passing game, and Fowler with the mini break. Pledger doing well to disrupt, get in over the ball, turn it over for New Zealand. Letiu. That's a clever kick. But quickly taken by Sid Harvey for Australia. Well, this is on the bounce of the ball now. That is, or is it not? Is there a flag up? No flag. Nope. And Harvey getting a kick off the side of his boot. That's a massive territory win for New Zealand.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant kick. Almost a 22-22.
Yeah, almost a 22-22. But the ability to kick into space and get away from the halfway line is quite incredible.
South African under-20 side, interested spectators in this game. They take the field against Argentina. 4:10 local time. Just under an hour and a half from now. New Zealand missing their own line out. Kick straight down the throat of Maloney Kunawabe. Hasn't had many chances with that much space. Solomon filling in at first receiver, then the carry from Josh Tengblad. penalty. Tengblad got back to his feet, played the ball again, and then just a little isolated. Sika Pole a little late with the clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Bo Morrison got underneath that ball very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So what you want to do there is, as soon as you go down, place the ball as far away as possible, as quick as possible. Allow your cleaners to come through as well and take the ball.
Some really athletic work out there on the left wing to
Live.
prevent that ball from
Play on.
going into touch off the penalty kick. Australia happy to go with a quick throw in again. Harvey with the chip and chase.
Back of black.
And tapped back by Kunawabe. Harvey pops it up. This is an amazing score for Liam Grover. A second try for him. And you've got to put that down to a mistake from Maloney Kunawabe. Certainly couldn't have controlled with any certainty that tap backwards, and this is going to be the perfect end to the first half for Australia.
Look at that kick into space from Australia. But the tap back, always very questionable, because usually it goes 50-50. Australia gathers that ball, and then in Leon Grover for wonderfully worked try.
So there will be a restart. Kick clock there in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll take it just over 39 minutes and 40 seconds, and that one is faded off the left boot of Sid Harvey, so still just the one conversion.
Look at that, like I said earlier on, the kick space was well. Kunawabe wanted to tap it back, just falling back into Australia's hands again. And then Grover picking it up and dotting it down.
Harvey also making sure he stayed in the race. He was putting the pressure on Kunawabe. Forced him to make a decision. Kunawabe is the man chasing the restart, doing his best to win it back and make amends. It's not to be. And Christopher Ellison blows his whistle to end a very entertaining first half. New Zealand hit the front early on with a try from Harlan Saunoa and added another through Stanley Solomon. But 3 tries for Australia, 2 by Liam Grover, 1 by Sid Harvey, who added a solitary conversion. Half-time at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. It's New Zealand 10, Australia 17. It is the second edition of the Under-20 Rugby Championship, coming to you live from the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in Gqeberha, the Eastern Cape of South Africa. The inaugural competition played in Australia's Gold Coast last year and won by New Zealand, who are up against it, the defending champions, at half-time in their opening game against Australia. The Australians lead by 17 points to 10, 3 tries to 2. With me in commentary, former Springbok loose forward Opa Mahoche. 2 teams who've come to play. No attempts at goal from penalties. They've kicked for the corners. They've looked to give the ball a lot of air, and plenty of promising signs for the tournament to come, Opa.
No, absolutely. These guys have definitely come here to play, like you said. No intention to go for poles or anything like that. They want lineouts and they want to score more tries. However, they haven't gotten opportunities to score more tries. But it's definitely a game that's worth watching, you know, preparing for the future as well.
Spoke about discipline being a potential problem for New Zealand in the first half. If they had to take anything out of the first half, the fact that they conceded 7 penalties cost them momentum at crucial times.
Absolutely. Discipline does change momentum, because you always find yourself a foot back. So if they better their discipline and put Australia under pressure, that could turn the game around.
Second half underway through the boot of Rico Simpson. And straight away, the 8th penalty conceded by the junior All Blacks.
Definitely not the way you'd want to start the second half, especially after discipline has been a chat. You know, you want to start the game off clean and get a couple of minutes in before something like this ever happens again.
Joey Fowler with the penalty kick. They've mixed things up nicely between Fowler and Sid Harvey, right boot, left boot. And there is the man being played in the air was Randall Baker, the guilty party, too eager from the restart. Ollie Barrett from the Western Force, finding his captain Eamon Doyle. There's an old cliche which says you lead by example. He really has.
Absolutely.
Eamon Doyle. Strong on the carry. He was prominent in the build-up to Sid Harvey's try. And again, he's taking the ball forward. Wilcox up from fullback. Tackle made by Kunawave. Line speed from New Zealand has been decent. Got into those outer passing lanes, forcing Australia to take contact. That time through Liam Grover. 2 tries for him in the first half. One just on the stroke of half-time. Number 17 on the field for Australia, Trevor King of the Reds.
Use it 9!
Huey Sharples has been a live wire in the first half. He will not be happy with that kick, but it was touched. And then lost forward by Australia. So wasted possession for them. Advantage called over on the kick. New Zealand now playing with the wind more at their tails than in their faces. It's been swirling around inside the stadium. Plenty of distance on offer for the kicks for New Zealand in the second half. I wonder if we'll see more of that from them. Not a great deal of tactical kicking from either side in the first half. Sharples. Plenty of height on that hoist. And Dylan Pledger tracking back. Away by Wilcox for Fowler. And then Harvey. Scored one of the 3 tries. Converted his own try in the first half. Ollie Barrett driven back in the tackle. Now it's Fowler's turn to put the cross kick in. Challenging New Zealand to run back at them. Harlan Saunoa. Pledger and Solomon, who's popped up in that first receiver position on regular occasions in the game. Beautiful hands out the back from Randall Baker, and Rico Simpson siding through. Collects the rebound as well. Simpson keeping it alive, then putting the grubber through. He must have known, or I hope he knew, there was a penalty advantage there, because he had
number 10. That's a line break.
a number of options. There's going to be a yellow card here for Joey Fowler.
Let me just get on the mark.
Yeah, Joey Fowler, absolutely cynical on that. Slapping the ball during attack.
You going for the line?
That is an obvious call for the ref, and he'll definitely take it to the sin bin for that.
Well, he was immediately resigned to his fate when he got the call of his number. Wonderful break this from Simpson.
It was a very good break, but that's what happens when you, against a team that has very high line speed, playing the balls out the back definitely creates mismatches.
Letiu. Down from Baker, but untidily. Kunawave. Pledger for Sikapole. Coming around the corner, big men lining up. Letiu driving hard with support from Basson. Pledger for Pole. Look how quickly the Wallabies are to bounce. Not overcommitting to the tackle. If this goes to hand, which it does, Kunawave could be in. Malone Kunawave has the try. You could see how desperate he was on the restart after Australia's third try to make amends for the mistake that led to Liam Grover's second try, but now he has one of his own.
What a well-worked try from Maloney Kunawave. From there, look at going back to the blind side, and then the wonderful pass.
All clear.
Stanley Solomon finding Kunawave, and they're in for a very good try.
So a kick for Rico Simpson to square it up at 17 all. Well, that's 3 tries, no conversions for New Zealand. Attempted interception here, it was desperation stuff. Nothing illegal there, but the pass from Solomon, aware that Kunawave was just holding his line tight to that right touchline.
Good awareness and good discipline for Kunawave to stay deep and expect the ball. Eventually the ball came to him.
Tough challenge now for Australia with their fly half, Joey Fowler.
He's not
in
on
the
the wall.
sin bin. New Zealand straight away taking advantage of the extra man and looking to go wide once again. Kunawave has another opportunity after some slick handling. 35 meters made off the restart.
Okay, advantage, never on side.
And a penalty advantage, a free play here for New Zealand through the hands of Wiseman for Saunoa.
He's still got advantage.
And then Pledger with a little kick over the top. The referee will give this some time to unfold.
No
Good
advantage,
contest between the
going back,
fullbacks,
offside.
Wilcox and Solomon. No advantage.
Roger. Thank you.
It is crazy
Offside, never
what
onside.
pressure does.
Never onside.
Never onside. Before you get the ability to say the ball is already out, and that forces you to stay out. And unfortunately, you've been in an offside position. So the best part for you to do there is, for Australia to do there, is slow the ball down tremendously to allow their players to get back on side, and then continue allow New Zealand to continue playing.
Just managing to break into a jog. Mosese Besan.
Let's switch on. Switch on for them all.
This is a New Zealand team that has come out for the second half,
Good. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
looking to improve the accuracy of their game. The build up to that try, they were outstanding. Plenty of strong, willing ball carriers in their pack. Towards the tail they go for Josh Tengblad. And then the captain finding Kunawave. It's a second for the winger. Manumaua Letiu just timing his pass perfectly. Almost what you might call a dummy maul. The maul looked set
Okay.
off that line
I
out,
didn't see anything
but
live
opting not to
for the
drive
halfback
from the
there on
maul.
that clean up.
Letiu quickly off the back, running a strong line, committing defenders, and then unleashing Kunawave to his inside.
Absolutely, what a well-worked try. And as you said, Matthew, that more was to attract the Australian forwards to come in, join them all. And as soon as they joined, Letiu peeled off, and then from there they played on, giving it to Kunawave to finish it off for his brace of tries.
So 4 tries in total. And now the first successful
Thank you.
conversion.
Thanks.
What a well-worked try. Look at that more. As soon as all the fours are in, they played out to Letiu, and then Letiu inside pass to Kunawave. Definitely a set-piece move that was done during training. Look at the celebration.
Christopher, no footage of any of that
Yeah,
at
New
this
Zealand
stage. So
players.
let's play.
That was before the line.
So 6 minutes on the yellow card, 12 points scored.
That is tough. New Zealand absolutely taking advantage of that one less man.
Option.
And then too strong on the restart
It's
from
not 7,
Harvey
so
as
it's
well.
Yeah.
Having conceded the points, they have to scrum with one man down in the defensive line. Midfield scrum, great opportunity here. Replacements on for the junior All Blacks.
Let's go, boys.
Eli Odenrayan, Tasman and the Crusaders replacing the captain, Manamaua Letiu.
Nice and straight.
Number 8,
Remember the break foot.
Bason, has
Crouch!
also left the field.
Bind.
Io Keith packing down at the back of the
What's up?
scrum.
What's up?
Mika Fale
Make sure you're ready. All right.
onto the field. He'll play on the side of the scrum. Waikato. The Trevor King for Finn Baxter replacement was made in the front row at half time by Australia on the loose head side.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Well, it's going to be a relieving free kick for Australia. Sikapole pulling out of the contest on the set call from Christopher Allison. And a clever skidding kick across the surface out into the sunshine on the far side where Rico Simpson makes his clearance. Huge distance on that kick from New Zealand's fly half, and the return kick into the wind means another big territory win.
For New Zealand.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Another six-man line out for New Zealand. This is something they've done a lot. And there's the other forward, Mika Fale, wearing jersey 20. Positioned out in the midfield as a carrying option, setting a target. Beautiful ball from Simpson for Kunawave, who finds Saunoa. Counter is good from Australia. A managed possession now. Just seconds remaining
Use it 9.
on their yellow card before they're back to the full complement. Hoist from Huey Sharples was on for Liam Grover, but he lost it forward as he attempted to gather the kick. Now Solomon from fullback. Roberts. Big clean out from Odenrine. Keeps the momentum for New Zealand. Pledger. And now out wide for Saunoa. Takes on the tackle, strong in the tackle, but eventually forced into touch. Took two junior Wallabies to get him out.
What excellent defense from Australia, Matt. Really held on to their guns. Look at the space that Sauna had.
Let's do the subs.
But Wilcox saying, no, sir. No, thank you. And now they should give time for Joey Fowler to come back on the field.
So James Martins replacing Huey Sharples. And Joe Dillon on for Joey Fowler. So Fowler's 10 minutes in the bin.
What's his nickname? Horse.
Has been completed. He is straight away replaced by Joe Dillon of the Brumbies.
Mate, I was standing running from you. Just be patient.
Dylan Etty also on.
No, no, no. Let's just keep it clean. Good to go. Time on.
Important line-out win for Australia with their try line under threat. And
Use
a good
it, 9.
first service from James Martins, who now gets the opportunity to clear off the right boot as well. Head coach Chris Whitaker for Australia, he would have been impressed with what he saw from his scrum half Huey Sharples. The first half, very Whitaker-esque performance, very slick from the base, quick pass speed. A little bit of contact in the air there, not too much damage done. Mika Fale around the front of the line out. Pledger. So hitting his targets nicely, trying to put Odin Ryan into the hole. And just into the game, Dylan Etty.
Yeah, bring him on. Number 1.
Look at that ball carry. But just unfortunate. Eli Odenryan getting that ball and then spitting it out just after contact.
Let's go, boys.
Would be his first ball carry. Very unlucky with that.
Cool.
Tamayano Alu,
Wait after the scrum, please.
wearing jersey 17 from Auckland, replacing Sika Pole, an Auckland teammate at loose head.
Crouch! Bind! Keep it up. Sit!
Straight down on this near side. It's tough on Alu. It's his first scrum. Just on the field, and penalty conceded.
Yeah, extremely unlucky. But throughout the whole game, though, Australia has had the upper hand in the scrums, particularly.
Bring him on now.
Look at that good hit, but Alu immediately going down on the floor. Referee
Just
identifying
keep your
it
mark there. Yeah.
and allowing Australia
Thank you.
for a penalty.
Maul! Sideways once. Don't change your bind.
Well, working hard at maul time. Josh Tengblad coming through the middle. Regathered for Australia by Trevor King.
Use it 9.
Whakafanua was again running hard at that midfield defence of New Zealand. Clearly a plan that they've had to
Use it
for
9.
him to try and bust a couple of holes. Simpson well positioned. Solomon.
Fall back. Retreat.
Bit of an unstructured chase line here from New Zealand, and
Ruck.
may have got a bit lucky as Shane Wilcox lost his footing. Counter a ruck is brilliant. And Dylan Etty with the pickup. Christopher Allison showing advantage to New Zealand here. Odin Ray.
Never
Nothing coming
onside.
there, so Australia
counter
caught
ruck.
offside. After the counter ruck, it all started with the slip from Shane Wilcox. It
Not
looked
sure.
like a really good counter-attack opportunity for Australia. After Stanley Solomon was the only man chasing his own kick.
Take it.
Yeah, it's actually quite incredible because
Yeah, we'll wait
the
for it.
kick that they made, the pickup, they knew that they run. Look at the slip going down. But however, the counter ruck from New Zealand,
Time off,
they
we'll
came
wait for
in
number 6.
massive numbers. So meaning that it was actually quite intentional because they've had a
Time
couple
off.
of those kicks downfield,
not
however,
sure.
not been successful. Now they knew
the
that
counter ruck came in and he just
Australia
never
is
got back.
very, very vulnerable in the backside, and that's why they want to counter ruck.
2 tries scored in the second half so far by New Zealand's under-20s. Both of them scored by Malone Kunawawe, and both of them scored while Australia were down to 14 men. How quickly things can change. New Zealand coming out with much greater intent in the second half. Started the game at ferocious pace, got the first try of the game to go 5-0 up. Then conceded a 12-5 deficit with the first 2 tries scored by Australia. Hit back with a brilliant try of their own from Stanley Solomon, the fullback in the left corner. That made it 12-10. And then a second try for Liam Grover of Australia just before half-time. Meant that the Australians went in to half-time with a 17-point to 10 lead, but the 2 tries from Malone Kunawawe and a single conversion from Stanley Solomon has taken the score to 22-17. Another change made by New Zealand. Charlie Sinton,
bring on the sub for number 6.
the Bay of Plenty, replacing Dylan Pledger at scrum half. So both coaches making liberal use of their benches. Toby Bryle of the Waratahs wearing jersey 20 on for Australia as well. Done really well here to get this maul moving, because the ball carrier almost being taken to ground. And now a side entry penalty coming the way if they can't get this down. It's a metre short. He might be thinking even penalty try.
Okay, cool. New advantage of side.
Second advantage, all the momentum with New Zealand now. Charlie Sinton waits at the base of the ruck, but still it's going to be the big men. Hoden Ryan.
Time's off.
Well, he's celebrating Eli Hoden Ryan.
Look at celebration.
Okay, before we refer anything, I was playing advantage. I got it held up. Have you got anything else?
Yes, before pull up, the 5 collapsed the squad.
Okay, let's have a look. Ben?
Yes, Christopher?
Okay, so the on-field decision has held up. I believe there was a collapse. We just want to have a look at that first. If we can't find that, if there's any compelling evidence to overturn the held up decision, I was, however, playing advantage for number 8 changing his blind.
Noted. So we're checking for the number 5 that came in side entry. We already cleared the grounding. There's no grounding.
Okay, so there's no cynical collapse.
No, we're coming back for the cynical collapse. I'm going to show you that now.
Cool. That's what I want to see.
So Ben Krause is the TMO. He said that they've already checked. There is no grounding, which was the on-field
Here we go,
decision.
Christopher.
However, there's the possibility, as we discussed, of a cynical maul collapse here. If so, could be a penalty try. Joe Mangelsdorf is the man being targeted, wearing number 5 for Australia.
Okay, Ben, we're looking at the actions of number 5, am I correct?
Yes, Christopher, that's number 5 that came in from the side and stopped that maul.
Okay. Right. So I can confirm what you've seen. Number 5 came in from the side and he stopped a probable try from being scored. Number 5.
Yeah, agree with that, Christopher.
Number 5.
Yeah, so this is going to be a yellow card and
Where's number 5?
a penalty
Okay,
try.
so you came in from the side and you stopped a probable try from being scored. So that's a yellow card and a penalty try.
Oh. The referee couldn't have handled that much better, any better. Joe Mangelsdorf clearly offside there. First of all, getting in on the side, trying to stop them off from the side, which is illegal, and then at the end collapsing it, preventing New Zealand to score a try. And that is why the referee, Christopher Allison, went for a yellow card and a try.
Thomas Betaza, the Argentine assistant referee, he called it in real time. And Ben Krause, the benefit of that footage, was able to confirm. So a second yellow card.
The ball's clearly available. Use it!
In the second half of this game. Amazing how we were talking about discipline in the first half for New Zealand, how their head coach, Milton Haig, would have been disappointed with the number of penalties conceded in the first half. They opened the second half with another penalty. Since then, they've only conceded one. But Australia have conceded 4, which have included 2 yellow cards. Costly.
And that is an absolute momentum changer. They scored the try just before halftime, so they definitely had the upper hand. And then momentum shifts the more penalties you create, and now they're under pressure. 2 yellow cards, and now they're literally working on a back foot. That's what they're doing now.
Lepina Atta of the Brumbies is on as the replacement hooker for Australia.
Release, block! Release!
That had been lost forwards off the hands, but play on is the call from the referee. Harlan Saunoa has also been replaced. Looks like Will Cole is the man replacing him for New Zealand. Opportunity here, though, for Australia. And for the corner is Nick Conway. Cover tackle made by Sinton. Still the opportunity exists. Io Keith and...
No hands.
Eamon Doyle was with the carry and a try is scored. Looked like Trevor King. Fantastic play from Australia to hit back with this try.
Yeah, I must say, it is a very good response.
Ball clear.
Making their way inside the opponent's 22. And then from there, giving their big boys to carry, bolster through. Look at those carries, driven back, however, not giving up. Another ball carry, followed up by another ball carry by B. Morrison. And then the big man, Trevor King, getting the last laugh. That is a very good response from Australia.
Another kick goes wide, though, so still 7 points the difference. But a 4th try for Australia.
Yeah, that will help a lot, especially with them having 14 men. Look at that beautiful ball carry by Nick Conway. And then from there, their big boss Eli Langi getting in the action. And as well as Eamon Doyle, the captain, who's had a very, very good game so far.
Outstanding on the carry. Australia's captain, the ball just evading him there in the build-up to that try. Eli Langi doing brilliant work. A little bit of confusion here. New Zealand go short side for Mika Fale. Then Odin Ryan getting his offload away, and the tackle for Charlie Sinton, who was just too close to touch, took the cover tackle from Dylan.
Whose ball is it? It's your ball, mate. I had it from gold out. I had it going out from gold. What is your call? Gold ball.
Just a bit of confusion here between referee and assistant. Christopher Allison thinking that it had gone out of a junior Wallaby hand, but Lepina Atta has the throw. Odin Ryan pouncing on the loose ball. Released it as he went to ground. Quick to get back to his feet. Looking to hit back straight away.
No!
Tracy.
Leave it!
Oh
21.
boy.
21. Thank you. You're
Oh,
cynically slowing
boy.
it down.
Oh,
I clearly gave a penalty. You just held on. You're taking away the option of a quick tap.
James Martins, it is, who's sent to the sin bin. Third yellow card of the second half.
Scrum.
Yeah, that is tough. That is definitely not what you want. Literally now you're going to play about 4 minutes with 13 men. But look at these ball carries from New Zealand. And they just hands in the ruck, not releasing the ball. The referee blows the whistle, and then you hold on to the ball. Christopher Ellison is right. He's
Yeah.
taking away the option
What
of a
number?
quick penalty,
Yeah, please
and
read
that's
the
why he's
mark.
also going in the sin bin.
Thank you.
Yeah, that penalty count really has mounted up for Australia in the second half. By contrast, there was one conceded by Randall Baker from the restart for the second half. That took their count to 8. So just one since then
Crouch!
in 25 minutes. They've tidied up their discipline.
Bind! Keep it up! Sit!
Meanwhile, Australia have
Stay
lost
on your
theirs.
feet,
Joe
collapsing.
Mangelsdorf and James
Right in front of
Martins, the men in the bin. Joey Fowler was there for 10 minutes, and when his time was done, he was immediately replaced.
So by the end of the first half, Australia had conceded only 2 penalties. The rest, but now we go back to the scrum. Look at the scrum. It was a good set, but however, Alu once again with the slip. It's unfortunate not getting his footing. Second scrum, slipping again.
Throw not straight.
Option. Scrum will line up. Scrum will line up. Scrum will line up.
And there you go,
Line
with that
out
line
call,
out
thank
again. The contest is clear, and that allows for their skew call to come in.
Slightly surprising call to go for the line out with 2 men to the good.
And it's also because they know that their scrums are not in the best shape right now.
Well, fair contest at the line out. New Zealand must play from way behind the advantage line. Mika Fale, since
Last
he's
feet.
come on, has carried strongly for New Zealand. So too has that man, Eli Odenrine. Puts the boot in. Charlie Sinton with the chase, but ball secured for Australia. Swirling kick, well dealt with by Will Cole.
Stop.
Australia have to play this tactical kicking game at not enough distance on that
Stop.
kick
Retreat.
from Sid Harvey. Simpson,
Yeah.
boy, he's got way too much on this. This is going to be an Australian
Sid.
scrum all the way back in New Zealand
Has he got
territory.
it?
Yeah, he wouldn't be too pleased with himself. Unfortunate kick. He wanted to play the territorial battle, but however, just kicking it a bit too hard will call.
I just need him to stay on his feet and not collapse. I'll have a look. Tom's.
It's a real backline reshuffle that's taken place with the replacements on as well, with Rico Simpson moving from fly half to fullback. Will Cole into the fly half position, and David Lawai
Remember my message, so let's get that positive punch.
to the outside centre position. He's wearing
Remember
23.
that message I said before? Let's meet each other and then stable it. Yeah, I just spoke to him. but I want you to just remain on your feet. Cool.
So back to 14 now from 13.
Time on.
Joe Mangelsdorf has served his time in the bin, but has been replaced by Charlie Brosnan of the Reds in the second row for Australia.
Crouch! Bind! Yeah. Make yourself comfortable, yeah. Yeah.
So Nick Hill wearing jersey 18 on the loose head side, Trevor King on the tight head.
Crouch! Good space. Bind! Sit! No, it was touched. You can play it. It was touched by the front row.
Looked to have come straight out of the mouth of the scrum there. Australia doing well just to keep it in. Claim of illegal playing with the hands, but the referee saying the ball had been touched by a front row player, so it was allowed to be played.
Advantage.
Advantage being shown to Australia. Cooper Waters. Lepina Atta still with a free play on penalty advantage. Some wonderful offloading and contact here.
No, stay.
Then Liam Grover. Nothing coming there.
23
Ball was
offside.
out of the back of the ruck. So come back for a penalty, which they can kick to that left corner. Still not a shot at goal having been taken by either side from a penalty. Wonder if that might change in the final 8.5 minutes as things get tighter and tighter. Australia still a man short, but well within the contest.
I think another impressive thing about Australia is that they've gotten yellow cards in this last stint, and they haven't conceded any points since then, which is great. They're keeping the pressure ball, they're absorbing as much pressure as they can, which is great.
Move!
Another big leap from Eamon Doyle, Australia's captain.
Once.
One stop called by Christopher Ellison as Lepina Atta still controls the ball. Odin Rain trying to go through the middle, but Atta still in possession.
Release!
Brilliant work from the replacement hooker for Australia. Well, Odin Rain is working so hard over the ball there, keeping it off the ground in goal. Look at that, almost 11 minutes since the last score. You can just sense it's getting a little cagey. Leave yourself a lot to do in this 3-match competition if you pick up a loss in your opening game. Australia almost appear galvanized by having had these last 2 men in the bin. Ball called out by the referee. Dane Johnston was quick to pounce on the loose ball.
10 meters.
New Zealand not back 10 meters. Liam Grover with a strong run after the quick tap, but then conceding the turnover penalty. Crucial steal.
Yeah, that is a very important steal. And it's so important that
Just can't dive
when
on
a
the
scrum half
emerging
takes the
ball from
quick tap,
ruck.
the whole team needs to be aware of that and run with him. If your scrum half leaves you and he gets tackled, then there's no one. He's isolated. There's no cleaners. And that often leads into a turnover. What a great kick.
Great kick from Will Cole with the wind at his back.
Look at that quick tap. Went on all by himself, which is Liam Grover, 2-time try scorer in this game. And unfortunately was left isolated after the tackle.
Let's go.
It looked as though he was leaving the field. Keith, but now he's back on, having received some attention. Australia looking really comfortable with ball in hand in these last 5-10 minutes or so. Harvey brings another penalty.
Hold on. Time off.
Is there a warning here?
Ben,
Yes, Christopher.
got an eye shot by New Zealand and an Australian player. Just want to see if there was head contact. It was just before I blew my whistle.
Okay, we'll get back to you.
Thank you.
So a request from Christopher Ellison to Ben Krause, the TMO. He said he was aware of a high shot just before he blew for the penalty, but
Here we go, Christopher.
wants to check if there's head contact, which could result in more than a penalty.
Here we go.
So Harvey is the ball carrier.
At this stage, we cannot
It's-
confirm. I'm just trying to cue another angle for you.
Okay.
Here we go.
Keith is the man who went in. There's significant dip from Harvey. Almost catches the forearm.
Part of the arm. Yeah, to the shoulder.
Yes, I can confirm with that, and also the player ducked into it.
Okay. The level of danger is not too high. It's indirect as well. So it's just a penalty for me.
I agree with those facts.
So nothing more than a penalty.
Penalty only.
4.5 minutes remain for Australia. How much can Sid Harvey bite off here with the penalty kick? Driven effectively from their line out. And pretty decent distance inside New Zealand's 22-meter area. It's times like this where you start looking at the goal kicking. One of New Zealand's 5 tries was a penalty try, so automatically 7 points. Only one other conversion. And 1 conversion out of 4 attempts for Australia. Here's Boston Whakafanua making good headway.
Away!
Back within striking distance here. The junior Wallabies lost forward.
Number 23 again.
Hold on.
But penalty Australia.
Okay. It's continuous penalties for offside. Have a word, the next one might go. 23.
That's the third one against 23.
I just gave them a warning. Yeah. Scrum.
Yeah, scrum called. Been really solid in that aspect. They're back to their full complement. Playing with more confidence. And with a great opportunity here to draw the game
Get a
level.
scrum, keep it that way now.
Just over 3 minutes to play.
Keep the break foot. Crouch! Up, please. Bind! Sit!
Well, a huge effort from the New Zealand scrum when it mattered the most.
Standing up under pressure.
So Will Cole gets the opportunity to find a long touch. He's got the wind at his back. And it's an absolutely brilliant penalty kick. Right back into Australian territory. They are going to have to contest this line out. The junior Wallabies managed to poach one off New Zealand. And they were last back in their half.
Get in.
5 tries to 4. Really entertaining game. 17 points to 10. Australia led at half-time, but have suffered 3 yellow cards in the second half. Maloni Kunawawe, who scored the first 2 tries of the second period for New Zealand. Pops out of the back for Charlie Sinton. And that's clever from Simpson.
It's infield.
Well, hitting the corner flag and away by Harvey. Got to be so aware as a referee in that situation. Don't see that often. Ball kicked and bouncing off the corner flag back into the in-goal area. Immediately called it as in play.
Time off.
Io Keith, who has received medical attention a couple of times in this second half. We really thought he was going off 5 or 6 minutes ago. Has to last 1 more minute. New Zealand, who closed off their victory in the inaugural under-20 TRC in the Gold Coast in Australia last year with a victory over Australia by 36 points to 25. They've been made to work extremely hard in the first match of their title defense in Nebeja. Beautiful autumn evening in South Africa's Eastern Cape. Really nice crowd in, been filtering in throughout the course of this game. Coming up next, South Africa against Argentina in match number 2.
Let's go, let's go.
Just inside Australia's 22-metre area, and New Zealand need to just control this possession. 1 stop called on the maul, and there's a knock on there.
Leave it, Black!
Could there yet be another twist?
It'll come out, yes. Manage over.
Australia throwing caution to the wind here. Sid Harvey. Beautiful offload with his arms through the tackle, but a hugely important tackle made.
Option. Scrum or line out. Scrum or line out.
Looked like Stanley Solomon,
Scrum.
who made that
Line out.
all-important tackle on Cooper Waters down the right side. It will be a line-out call. They had the option of scrum or line-out. 1 accurate throw required from Eli Odenrein. But it is not to be. It's a steal for Australia. What can they make of this final possession? Joe Dillon into contact. Martins for Brosnan. And then Toby Bryle. Martins.
18.
Another penalty for offside. Dane Johnston. They got a warning a short while ago for repeated offside penalties. Once again, we can say, how much will Sid Harvey be prepared to bite off here as he kicks for the corner? It's a decent one. 7 meters for Australia to travel.
Middle.
Huge admiration for the way they've stuck in here. Eamon Doyle poaching that last line out off a New Zealand throw.
Maul!
And now has their own possession with a Maul moving forward.
Going backwards once!
One stop call. Can they keep it up? Desperately close.
Release now! Advantage!
Advantage Australia.
Release
Martins
Blacks!
goes digging. Yet another
Please
penalty.
calm down.
Is there going to be a card?
Thank you.
There
I
is
asked you to release
indeed.
the ball.
It's Eli Odenrain who is sent to the sin bin. The drama is not done.
Stay in. Maul!
Again, no contest from New Zealand, as you would expect. But some immediate go forward for Australia, and they have the try. They will have a kick to draw the game. You wouldn't will this kind of pressure on any goal kicker. The conditions are tricky. Was it Bo Morrison who got it down? It's hard to see under the pile of bodies. Stanley Solomon just unable
Okay, play on.
to get his body under the ball. 29-27. Sid Harvey with one kick from 4 has this to snatch a draw.
5 seconds!
And when it mattered most, he absolutely nailed it. What a dramatic finish we've had to the first game of this tournament. Massive credit due to the Australians.